I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just look it up. Don't be I'm so gone, no I'm never turning back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so on, you're gonna be hurting bad. Cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad. I stay strong, you will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math. When I hate, I attack. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just look it up. Don't be
Hello everybody. Yes, it is the worst music, especially for you. Arnon chose especially that song for you, so you will like it that much. Hello Zakenyo, good to see you. Johnny, Cool Beans, Arnon, Christoph, hello to you all. Actually, I was wondering whether I'm gonna get to go live today, even talk about what the price action is doing. Let's go over this. In fact, I would argue it's very confusing for some people. It's sort of a lot of back and forth. We haven't really yet closed the gap that is above us, which is bad news. Means we potentially can end up eventually retracing back to it. Let's go our usual shtick. Those who don't know, we no longer do individual stock analysis here on the live. This individual stock analysis is done only on the Discord for the community members. There are special meetings that are scheduled meetings basically that we have twice a week. The members get ad-free exclusive content. They get informed about the lives and all sorts of really cool stuff. As you can see, a whole library of videos, a bunch of channels. We get to talk and discuss about various topics, from the stock market, from individual assets to the upcoming price action, strategies and whatnot. Let's go over the price action so we have a little bit of an idea what it is that we're expecting to see in the upcoming sessions. SPX is currently being very uncertain. Arguably, we still have that gap to close, but let's try and figure out whether the market has what it takes to close it, because it appears to be that we're already breaking down. Some people are already jumping to conclusions. I would say don't do that yet. On the 1 minute, it sort of doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. We are potentially retesting right now that junction. If you realize we are now basically testing four different forces that are combined into that one little square: the current channel, the top of the previous one, and both medians of the longer duration ones. So basically the entire system of everything is meeting right here at this very junction right now at 5930, if you will. We may end up testing this thing and getting stuck for the next 27 minutes, and so the session will end on that. Arguably the 5 minutes does not indicate any ability to go any higher, and kind of we are residing, if you realize, the short-term 20 range channel. We're currently testing its ceiling, simultaneously testing the 100 channel median. So if you realize, we are kind of stuck in a vice right now in that very junction. As you can see on all sides of things, this very little square that we're in right now, that one little spot, which I did not assess we're going to drop this way into it. I assumed we're going to drag along the seating and just kind of drag into it, but it really doesn't matter. The point being, we've arrived at this very particular sort of destination that is the junction of various forces. On the 30 minutes, we are clearly oversold with some relief momentum right there, having a little bit of bullish momentum in the oversold territory, giving you this almost combination of nothing at the end of the day. Sadly, that may kind of drag out, I would arguably say, along the line, the channel that we're in, still the 5930 range, so nothing special on that front. The 45 minutes being oversold, going through convergence of the forces. Basically, we're having convergence of the forces, or we're having here the bullish and the bearish forces crossing over, basically, and you're seeing preparation to slide over from the bottom of the current 100-day range, 145 minutes in this case, not day, for 100 range channel. Stepping out of it and breaking into what appears to be a downwards directed channel towards 5890-ish, in that vicinity. The range doesn't really matter in that sense. That appears to be the current structure that we're at least building for the near-term horizon. What is not good is that this signals, if we're starting to go over the 1 hour, I would argue that this still shows that we may retest these levels at least one more time, given that we are already in oversold conditions and still are about to climb back up, potentially retesting that 80, giving dominance to the bullish momentum. As you can see, zoomed in right now, we're basically becoming bullish dominant, which is not all that great. Can lead to a retest of that 5960 range, kind of the very same ceiling that we were just at. So in other words, wasting more time. The 4 hours is very interesting, because the 4 hours is a very good predictive tool for the daily, and we were saying to pay attention to it as we're going to start to see it spilling over into the body of the stochastic RSI towards the 80 and potentially 50. We will see that as a clear hint or a signal towards the preparation of the head and shoulders structure, if you will, that we were saying on the stochastic RSI on the daily, coming to an edge of that channel. Basically, all signs were pointing towards a breakdown of the channel. The problem is, as we did acknowledge, this may take a little while as we complete the shoulder and start breaking out. As you see, we already have clear divergence of the forces, post the convergence right here. And yes, some people did not realize, and I said it the other session, we cannot have them diverge immediately. That will retain the current bullish channel. We cannot have them diverge, sort of split away one from the other without actually converging on each other prior to. So basically, this is an inevitable process of the structure in order to get the dominance of the D, the bearish momentum to overtake, or basically the bullish momentum to collapse. Now, weekly still seems the same. The only annoying bit is that instead of breaking at our expected destination, we are still hurtling towards that 80, which still signals for us the potential retest of that 59.83. That is on the weekly. Of course, we cannot rely on that because we're already starting to see a significant breakdown on the 4-hourly and subsequently the daily, because once these will start printing their negative momentum in and the price action will start breaking inwards, this will start printing on our weekly. Our weekly will have convergence of the forces, subsequent divergence, and giving way to the D force, basically the D momentum, and so basically dragging us downwards, the red line, if you will. And other aspects of what we're seeing for the current trend is something that I've mentioned all along, is how the price action will be moving into oversold territory, at which stage we will actually see the real beginning of this downwards trend. So far, although as it was meant to retain at least roughly around 5,500, 5,400, we were not successful at that. The bullish momentum was far stronger than expected. A lot of artificial events, I would say, brought up the market to be misled, to buy into the thesis of the bullish momentum. And so now you're seeing us reaching back to this lower high, as this lower high will be closed up within about 10 days, or at least as we're forecasting, at least several more days be wasted around that area on a flat plane, and then breaking back down, giving way to the beginning of the downwards pressure, starting our way from roughly around at 5,500, moving towards 5,000, subsequently 49, 46, 45, as we said. That is the current expected range. Ignore everything you're seeing below. The current expected range is roughly around these levels, right? Around 5,000, 4,900, 48, 46, 45. 45 would be the lowest range at all, altogether. What else? The 3 months, of course, still doesn't really change. Kind of seems to be about the same. We may see a little bit more of a clearer picture, actually, if we're looking at the quarterly. On its stochastic RSI, what we will realize on it is a little bit more interesting, is that we're retaining divergence all along, and we're in fact still bullish or bearish all along, although it's really, really hard to see. This is a little bit of a trickery of the market, I would say, and basically we're able to retain that view simply because we're having more of an extended average, more data points on the continuous contract, giving way to a clearer average. So I would argue pay attention to this a lot more than you pay attention to our regular quarterly stochastic RSI, which currently actually seems to be the opposite way around. You see dominance by the K, bullish momentum dominance, but arguably this is part of the plan. This needs to again now cross over, to put it in simple terms, again basically giving way to the red line, which is the D, giving way to that bullish bearish momentum. Similarly to what I said on the smaller time frames, it doesn't happen overnight, especially when we're looking at the quarterly chart. This may take a while, especially given that we have at least 1 more month and 11 more days for this candlestick to be locked in. And so I wouldn't jump to any conclusions about the current structure of this candlestick, is it may actually end up closing very, very red as our monthly starts slipping into the red, printing into the quarterly, giving way to more of a bearish structure to the candlestick by the end of the period. That is what we're expecting, boys and girls. I know that was quite a marathon, a lot to say. I just sort of wanted to break it down of what it is that I'm seeing right now, how has the trend changed, if at all. Has anything changed? What are we looking in terms of the cycle? Where are we at in terms of the channels? How is the momentum looking? So I felt like it's going to be very, very important to cover, especially with that little burst we had towards the end of the session here. Everybody gets hyper excited. Oh, we're ready to go down. Not at all, not yet. There is more work to be finished around the current levels, and in fact, arguably, if you have a bearish position, you want to see this getting closed before we start moving downwards. This will not give us peace all the way down until we reach such lows that by that point we'll truly forget and we'll have to re-ask ourselves, is that truly something that we had to be worried about all so long? So I would arguably say that I prefer this to get closed. In fact, yes, I know it sounds very contradictory. I prefer the price action to pick back up in order to close this. Well, is this the scenario? Arguably, yes, we still have some bullish momentum to close it. In fact, some is coming through, and I would argue that this is what we would have, or we will see in the price action in the upcoming days before the market potentially starts correcting downwards, which we said towards the end of the month. So I wouldn't jump to any conclusions yet. Give it a little bit more time. Make sure the whole movement is currently a little bit more conclusive and we can identify it properly on all time frames. Until then, the expectation is not changing and we are expecting to see the price action to close the gap, as unfortunate as it is for us downwards positioned people right now, SQQQ holders and such. It may pick back up in the following sessions, close the gap, and only then continue the movement downwards. But rest assured that what we're seeing still stands as expected, that the price action will soon pick back up its downwards direction trend and will start reaching newer lows as we were expecting on the previous weeks. It just is a little bit prolonged, if you will. It takes a little longer for us to finalize the cycle, and that's part of the reason why we don't try to time the market as much as we focus on the destinations, the checkpoints, if you will, the momentum, and what it is the market is telling us that it's about to do, rather our own assumptions and arbitrary feelings. Right. That is it. Another quick reminder, as the market will be breaking down, I now have 2 final spots in my one-on-one academy, basically where I tutor you one-on-one, 1 or 2 twice a week, depending on your schedule that you define for yourself. I teach you the strategies, I teach you the tools, I teach you how and why to do with proper technical analysis. All the necessary tools, all the necessary knowledge, so you'll be able to be independent and not be relying on various talking heads of the media and being swayed one side or another like a roller coaster back and forth and nauseating you and not giving you any ease in understanding the market any better. So what I do is actually teaching you how to read the market properly, as efficiently as I do, some would argue, or at least similarly on that basic level. Now, so I have only 2 spots, and as the market will be dropping, heads up, something that I've announced in the Discord already. You better know about this because later people will complain, oh, I didn't know, and I will say, oh, I don't care. It's a very simple idea. As the market will be dropping to 5,000, the prices of the Academy will be going from currently $3,000 for the Academy for the entire 11 sessions. This will be the price will be going up, hiking to 3,500, 3,500, and as the SPX will be hitting $4,000, the Academy will then be hiked to $4,000. I truly don't care if that will happen overnight. That is what it is. So be ready, don't miss out on these spots, and yeah, definitely book them up before you miss out, and then you'll have to pay a higher price for no good reason. That is it. Also, another very important thing I would highly recommend, if you're not yet interested in joining the Academy and you feel like this is a little bit over your head, definitely I recommend you take a look at the patreon.com/investor. You then will be able to join that very Discord I just showed. Hang out with us. You don't have to have your individual sessions to get the idea, get the hang of the market, where things are going. You'll be able to participate at least in 1 meeting a week, if not more so, when we have sort of these unique events and extra meetings. And yeah, plenty of awesome perks that maybe I'm probably forgetting to mention, let alone individual stock analysis and all sorts of cool stuff. So definitely join our community to be in the know. That's it, boys and girls. Get ready. The market is prepping up to turn around. Let's just hope it's not gonna sort of be pulled from underneath us, because that is a bad scenario nobody will be happy with. We actually prefer to have more of a controlled corrective movement rather than just break down with remaining gigantic holes, gaps, if you will. That's not a good thing. I repeat, we're not happy. We will be happy if we'll see the price action close the gap and only then continue the breakdown. This is not good. Not good. It may result in this gap being left alone for years, seriously, but that's not a good idea, because we will be descending with a lot of nervous sort of state of mind, worrying whether we're about to flip around and make all that effort to just close a tiny little gap that could have been closed within 10 minutes that was left behind months ago. That's a very, very bad idea. So hopefully this will get closed before we get to the end of the month. That's it, boys and girls. As I said, we end the session on this. Join the community so you'll be better informed. You'll be able to join us when we go over individual stock analysis, ask your questions, learn, truly understand what technical analysis is all about and what kind of advantages it gives you, whether you're a trader, investor, long-term, short-term, doesn't matter. Everyone needs this skill set. That's it, boys and girls. See you on the next one. Bye for now.